Canada's chocolate world has its fair share of surprises, like heritage shops, tiny bean-to-bar makers, and popular staples across cities. But before you unwrap your next bar, let's take a closer look on all Canadian chocolate brands you should avoid at all costs. I do not intend to shame or belittle anyone. I'm simply highlighting important reasons you may decide to pass. And before we say goodbye, I will share some brands worth trying if you don't want to compromise on quality or experience. Purdy's Chocolatier is one of Canada's most iconic companies, founded in Vancouver in 1907 and now operating dozens of stores nationwide. However, many everyday consumers often complain about its pricing and value. Recent customer feedback highlights significant price increases on classic chocolate assortments, with some assortments rising nearly 50% in retail cost over a short period without any obvious improvements in quantity or perceived quality. Some customers have also experienced issues with digital ordering experiences and communication, from unsubscribed email lists to challenging website use, which diminishes the overall consumer experience for a brand positioned as a luxury chocolatier. While these issues don't necessarily reflect food safety, they do impact how chocolate lovers perceive the brand and if they become regular customers or not. Laura Secord is a classic Canadian chocolate and confectionery company founded in 1913 with over a century of history. While many Canadians have grown up with its products, the brand also appears in Canada's official recall records due to issues with undeclared peanuts in certain chocolate products manufactured under its wider corporate group. In 2025, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency issued a Class II recall notice for select milk and semi-sweet chocolate items because they contained peanuts without mentioning it on the label. This not only put consumers under serious health risks, but also raised questions about the brand's transparency and negligence. For people with food allergies or dietary restrictions, labeling issues can be a valid reason to completely boycott such brands. Rogers Chocolates was established in the late 19th century in Victoria, British Columbia, and is another heritage Canadian chocolate company known for its classic confections. Despite its rich history and nostalgic appeal, some consumers today raise concerns about the brand's ingredient transparency and sourcing practices compared with modern expectations for sustainability and ethical chocolate production. While Rogers offers uniquely Canadian flavors and traditional recipes, it does not widely publish detailed supply chain sourcing information about cocoa origins or certifications on its mainstream product lines. This contrasts with contemporary consumer interest in knowing how cocoa beans are sourced and whether smallholder farmers are paid fairly, something many artisans bean-to-bar producers emphasize upon. Growing consumer demand for ethical sourcing, particularly regarding the conditions of cocoa farm labor and environmental impact of cocoa cultivation, means that brands perceived as less open in this area may be chosen less often by ethically conscious buyers. Peace by Chocolate is widely celebrated for its founding story of a Syrian-Canadian family who built a successful chocolatier after fleeing conflict. It has since become a cherished Canadian brand and cultural touchstone. Nonetheless, some critics of the chocolate industry as a whole point out that handcrafted or mission-driven brands aren't immune to broader ethical supply chain questions. The chocolate sector's reliance on imported cocoa from West Africa and South America, which are intimately linked to issues like child labor and low farm wages, means that even smaller Canadian chocolatiers using imported beans can be subject to ethical scrutiny unless they publish clear metrics on fair compensation and labor conditions. While Peace by Chocolate's narrative and community work are admirable, consumers focused on industry-wide ethical challenges seek greater transparency around where and how cocoa beans are sourced before deciding to buy. Soma Chocolate Maker represents Toronto's artisan bean-to-bar scene, known for carefully crafted chocolate bars and unique profiles. While artisanal production and quality ingredients are strengths, approximately higher price points and niche flavor combinations can be barriers for mainstream consumers. Many shoppers accustomed to conventional milk or dark chocolate find that bean-to-bar products can taste less familiar or more acquired. This sensory and price mismatch can make Soma and similar craft brands less accessible for casual chocolate buyers. Additionally, artisanal brands sometimes lack the same level of nutritional labeling expected by consumers who follow specific diets. While not a quality concern, this highlights that for some Canadians, product positioning and taste profile are reasons to consider alternatives to Soma. Rousseau Chocolatier is a Nova Scotia-based chocolate maker known for boxed assortments and seasonal collections, which entered Canada's food safety spotlight in late 2024, when the CFIA issued a recall for its Thankful box of chocolates, due to mold contamination in various boxes sold between September the 28th and October 6th in 2024. The CFIA classified this as a Class 3 recall, meaning the issue was related to quality or spoilage, rather than an immediate health hazard. Mold in food, especially in soft confections, can produce compounds that affect safety and taste, and industry guidance generally recommends discarding any product with confirmed microbial growth. For consumers who prioritize dependable quality and freshness in their chocolates, this specific incident highlights major reasons to practice absolute caution until Rousseau publicly demonstrates improved handling. The Newfoundland Chocolate Company, a local favorite for its regional inspiration, is celebrated both in its home province and among visitors. However, some consumers evaluating craft brands from smaller operations note that when production scales up, ingredient consistency and quality control can vary compared to larger, more established manufacturers. Small batch producers often rely on varying seasonal ingredients or manual processes, which leads to flavor and texture differences between batches. There are many fans who appreciate this artistic variation, but those who expect consistency stay disappointed. The chocolates of Newfoundland are also primarily tied to regional retail and specialty sales, which leads to some difficulties in sourcing them nationally. So even when the core product is well made, you may want to go for easily accessible brands that don't surprise you with every bar. Chocolates. Favoris is a Quebec-based brand known most prominently for its chocolate fondue and dipping chocolates rather than traditional bars. Some consumers who prefer classic bar formats find that brands heavily oriented toward fondue and novelty chocolate products don't align with their taste. If you prefer pure dark chocolate with higher cacao content or prioritize health, then this is a brand you should skip. This is because fondue-style offerings often rely on a higher proportion of sugar and dairy to achieve a melting texture, which can affect calories and sugar profile when compared with more cacao-forward chocolates. Chocolates Favoris also limits versatility for those who want simple bars that fit into everyday snacking or baking, reducing its overall universal appeal. Denman Island Chocolate is a small Canadian chocolate producer offering organic and often vegan-friendly bars. While this niche positioning resonates with specific dietary groups, it also means limited availability, which can be a barrier for many Canadians seeking these products. Frequent shoppers report needing to visit specialty health food stores or order online due to sparse shelf presence in mainstream grocery outlets. This limited accessibility affects price and convenience and makes everyday purchase less straightforward compared with widely carried national brands. Some consumers on tight budgets find that small batch, organic, or vegan chocolates tend to command a premium price point, which automatically makes them reluctant to buy it. Ganong Bras, one of Canada's oldest chocolate and candy makers hailing from New Brunswick, has strong brand recognition and a long history in the Canadian confectionery market. However, consumer sentiment around Ganong products is not uniformly positive, particularly among younger or specialty chocolate enthusiasts who view the brand as less refined or lower quality than modern artisan or premium competitors. Online discussions often reflect contrasting opinions, with some praising nostalgia and regional availability, while others describe the flavor or texture as less sophisticated compared with boutique alternatives. This subjective perception that Ganong's chocolate feels dated or conventional is a real consumer factor when people decide which Canadian chocolate brands to favor for gifting, fine dining, or everyday enjoyment. Now that I have skimmed over most mainstream brands you should avoid, let's not forget Canada's growing chocolate scene that goes far beyond the big mall store names. These are some lesser-known Canadian brands that focus on quality ingredients and ethical sourcing to deliver a range of nuanced flavors worth indulging in. Avenaya Chocolate is a bean-to-bar maker based in Montreal that has been getting attention for its careful craftsmanship and focus on single-origin cacao. What sets Avenaya apart is how the makers source cacao beans from small farms and then transform them locally in Quebec into refined, flavor-forward chocolate bars with clear tasting notes ranging from fruity to earthy. This level of traceability, from farm to finished bar, really appeals to chocolate purists who appreciate quality and transparency in every bite. Kasama Chocolate is a small batch bean-to-bar maker on Vancouver's Granville Island. They believe in crafting ethically sourced chocolate straight from cacao beans, rather than using industrial chocolate bases, and offer a large variety of choices, ranging from fruit-infused vegan options to intense single-origin dark chocolate. Kasama stands as a true visionary chocolatier. Carrot Chocolate blends premium skills with a local cafe experience. Unlike many mass-produced chocolates, Carrot's bars and confections often incorporate locally inspired ingredients and seasonal flavors. You will definitely appreciate Carrot if you are looking to explore new flavor combinations beyond standard milk chocolate. Whether for everyday enjoyment or as a thoughtful gift, Beta 5 Chocolates in Vancouver has earned international notice for its creative approach, where art meets chocolate and produces unexpected textures and geometric designs with outstanding taste. Each piece feels less like a simple treat and more like a curated tasting experience and is a must-try for all locals and travelers alike. Finally, La Chocolaterie Trinidad Cacao in Montreal offers boutique charm with delicate truffles and beautifully balanced bars that can include local twists like maple or fruit ganache. Smaller but beloved, this brand deserves to be praised for combining classic technique with Canadian creativity. Now that it's time to wrap up, remember that choosing chocolate can be as personal as picking a song or a sweater. After we've peeled back labels, practices, and price tags, the point isn't perfection, but making better choices that fit right with your taste and values. There's no shame in letting your palate guide you, but a sense of responsibility should stand alongside it as well. If this video helped you choose your next sweet treat, subscribe to Canada Products Uncovered and continue enjoying each bite with intention and pleasure. Don't forget to like and ring the bell icon so you don't miss what I uncover next.